Hi, Drew here from Charlesglen Toyota, and I'd like to talk to you about some of the great Toyota safety features found on our product. It starts right off here at the wheel. We have the STAR safety system. STAR consists of 6 great components. The first is ABS, or anti-locking braking system. Simply, anti-locking braking system, or ABS, gives you the maximum brake force, but yet allows the wheel to still turn so you can turn around the object you're trying to avoid. ABS. We also have in this vehicle BA, or brake assist. Here's how brake assist works. Well, in a regular stopping situation, you see a yellow light coming up and you'll ease on your brake pedal. You take that same situation though, and all of a sudden the car in front of you is stopping abruptly. What do? You quickly hit that brake pedal. It's with that force and that time that you hit the brake pedal that the BA sensor says, look, there must be an emergency situation, so we'll add extra brake force into the lines, and as well it compensates for those people that can't push through the brake pedal as well as other people can. That's brake assist. We also have EBD, which stands for electronic braking distribution. Simply, it distributes brake force where it's needed, front to back or side to side. When you're braking under normal conditions, most of the braking is done at the front wheels. But when you change the load of the vehicle, if you have people in the vehicle or luggage or some form of payload, the weight is proportionately distributed differently in the vehicle. Therefore, you need different types of braking force, maybe more towards the back and not as much in the front. That's EBD, electronic braking distribution. We also have in this VSC, stands for Vehicle Stability Control. Some people know it as Vehicle Skid Control. Simply, here's how it works. You're driving along and all of a sudden you get into what's called an understeer or an oversteer. What that means is the vehicle starts to move sideways through the back end or in the front end. Either way, with the vehicle sensors, the wheel sensors know that something is wrong, and it will apply different brake pressures diagonally to pull you back in line. How you'll know this will also be happening is you'll feel the tap, tap, tap underneath your foot. That's actually the ABS working in conjunction with the VSC. And on the dash, you'll see the VSC light blinking, an orange light blinking. This vehicle also comes with traction control. Here's how track works. In theory, both wheels should be traveling at the same speed and the same rate. When one wheel starts to slip because it's on slippery ground, what the wheel sensors will do is it will start to brake that wheel that is slipping, because there's no sense sending energy to that wheel that's slipping. It will take some of that energy and move it over to the other wheel that has grip, and also reduce engine output. All done in a moment's time, and it will do it until both wheels regain traction, equal traction. We also have something in this vehicle called brake override, or smart start stop technology, excuse me. And what it's designed to do is, in the event that you, by mistake in error, hit both the accelerator and the brake pedal will overrule the accelerator and stop the vehicle. All part of the STAR safety system, and it is available on every single of our product line in Toyota. Hi, we got some great safety features underneath the hood of our Toyota vehicles that we often take for granted. I'd like to explain them to you right now. One of the simple things we have is even called a hood hook, right here. And what it's actually designed to do is, in the event of a severe impact, a frontal impact, the last thing you want to do is have that hood break away and go right through the cabin. So what those hood hooks are designed to do is, in the event of that severe collision, is for the hood to bend. Safety feature we take for granted, a lot of us not know about. But we also have things in here called crumple zones. Now, crumple zones are not just in the front of the vehicle, they're also in the rear of the vehicle. And here's what they're designed to do. They're designed to absorb energy and deflect it upwards and downwards. And the reason we wanted to do that is to direct the energy away from the cabin, because after all, you and your family are in the cabin, and we want to make sure that you're safe. And that's why crumple zones exist. But we also have things like motor mounts. And every vehicle has a motor mount. But what's unique about ours is the back two are designed to break away in the event of a severe collision, because the last thing you want to do is have that engine go through the cab and into your lap. So those back two motor mounts will break away in a severe front collision, and the engine will drop down and go underneath the vehicle. A couple other things we have is we also have a fuel cutoff switch in here in our fuel pump. How that works is, and again, in the event of a severe collision, the last thing you want to have is have fuel being metered out onto the road, especially in an environment where you have sparks, etc. So what happens in that collision is the fuel pump will automatically shut off, not supplying the vehicle with fuel, so it won't be introducing sparks into that fuel mixture. all part of some safety features found on our Toyota vehicles. Toyota has a number of other standard safety features I'd like to explain to you right now. All our vehicles have the following. We have something that runs through our doors called side impact beams or side intrusion beams. What they're designed to do is brace the vehicle and give it structural rigidity in the event of a side collision, side impact beams. We also have standard on all our product line a minimum of 6 airbags, 2 in the front, side seat airbags, and side curtain airbags. In fact, some of our vehicles have up to 11 airbags. Please ask your product advisor, they'll explain the model that you're looking at and how many airbags it has. I'd like to explain something really unique about our airbags. First of all, they're what's called multi-stage in the front, or 2-stage. Here's how they work. In the driver's seat, there's actually a driver's seat sensor. And what it's designed to do is relate the distance from you in relationship to the steering wheel. If you are too close to the steering wheel, it will deploy the airbag in what's called multi-stage or 2-stage. What that means is the airbag will come out quite quickly, but it will be in 2 stages. 1, 2. That is less impactful than just one big one. In the event that you are too close to that, I always recommend that at the very least you recline the back seat so you're farther away from that airbag and yet your feet can still reach the pedals. We also have something in our passenger seat called a passenger occupancy sensor. Here's how that works. Well, in this case you don't have a steering wheel, but it's all determined on weight. If you have a small child or a small person, I do recommend, as we all know, that they should be in the back seat because airbags do save a lot of lives, but they are very dangerous in the sense how quickly they come out. So if there is a small person, please put them in the back. That being said, how the passenger occupancy sensor works is this. It doesn't know the exact weight because when you're in an accident, weight shifts. What I mean by that is this. If you're standing on a scale, you weigh X amount. But if you take your foot off of the scale, all of a sudden the scale reading is less. And that's because the weight is shifting. So when you're in an accident, your body is moving forward. And because it's moving forward, the weight is shifting on the seat. So it doesn't know exactly if it's a really small weight, if it's a bag of groceries, or it's a small child. But here's what happens. It will either A, not deploy because it feels the weight is too little and it's a small person or a bag of groceries, or it may deploy in what's called the multi-stage, a 2-stage, just like the front driver's airbag. Or it may not deploy at all. That's part of the passenger occupancy system. Well, we also have some other features here very unique and interesting people take for granted every day is our seat belts and what they do. Well, we have things in our vehicles called emergency locking retractors, force limiters, and pretensioners. The emergency locking retractor is that thing that you feel when you're driving along and all of a sudden your seat belt locks and you're trying to reach for something and you can't move. That's the emergency locking retractor. And by the way, the reason that happens is because you've probably taken your foot off the accelerator and you're starting to decelerate. And that's why it locks. But it's a great thing to have in an accident. But often you hear that people, when they get in an accident, the airbag's deployed, their seatbelt was on, they have internal injuries like bruising, maybe a broken rib or punctured lung. And how that happens is this. When you hit something with such violent force, what happens is the vehicle stops, but your body is still moving forward. So to help lessen the effect of internal injuries on yourself in an accident, what we've designed is force limiters and pretensioners, and what they're designed to do is this. In an accident, you hit something, the vehicle stops, the emergency locking retractor will pull you in. But then the force limiters and pretensioners will allow a little bit of give, the emergency locking retractor again locks, and then gives, locks, gives and locks. Giving that little bit extra momentum, letting your body move forward a little bit to lessen the chance that you'll have an internal injury. Also on our vehicles, a lot of people aren't aware of, some of our vehicles have active headrests. The headrests are designed to prevent or help lessen the chance of whiplash. You see, when you're hit from behind, what actually happens is your head moves back and then forward. And it's that whipping action, the distance away from the headrest, that gives you some incredible injuries that could happen. So to help lessen that and prevent that, we've created active headrests. Here's how they work. You get hit from behind, your head will move back and then forward. The headrest will move up on a pendulum and move closer towards your head, lessening the distance between you and the headrest, lessening the chance of whiplash. These are some of the great safety features found in our Toyota product.